Most men miss attraction when it is right in front of them, not because they are unobservant, not because the signals are hidden, but because they have been conditioned to look for something dramatic, the obvious declaration, the direct statement, the unmistakable move that requires no interpretation. And real attraction almost never looks like that. Real attraction is quieter, more behavioral, more rooted in the body and the nervous system than in conscious, deliberate expression. Here is the dynamic that plays out constantly between men and women. A woman becomes genuinely attracted to a man. Her body begins to respond in her posture, in the quality of her attention, in the specific way she positions herself near him and interacts with him. And the man, waiting for something he would recognize from a movie or a conversation that was entirely explicit, misses all of it. He walks away wondering if she was interested. She walks away wondering why he never responded to what she was clearly communicating. This gap between what women actually express and what men are trained to recognize is the subject of this video. I am going to break down 5 specific signs that a woman is genuinely attracted to you, not surface level signals that could mean anything. 5 precise, psychologically grounded, behaviorally specific indicators that tell you something real is happening beneath the surface, in her nervous system, in her body language, in the way her attention organizes itself around you without her fully choosing it. Each one is backed by actual psychology and behavioral science. Each one is specific enough that you will recognize it the next time you see it, and you will not miss it. The 5th sign is the subtlest and the most reliable of all 5. Most men never notice it. Once you know what to look for, you will see it clearly. I'm Liza. This is Secrets Inside the Mind. If you're new here, subscribe to Secrets Inside the Mind right now. Every week, I break down the real psychology of female behavior, attraction, and the hidden dynamics most men never learn to read. Subscribe, turn on the bell, and let's get into it. Before the 5 signs, I want to name precisely why this gap exists, because understanding the reason makes the signs themselves much easier to read. Women do not, as a general rule, express attraction the way most men expect them to. The direct, explicit declaration, I am attracted to you, here is what I want to happen, is not how female attraction typically communicates itself, especially in the early stages. The reasons for this are both psychological and social. Women are significantly more attuned to social risk than men are. Explicit expression of attraction is a form of vulnerability that creates real exposure to rejection, to misinterpretation, to a loss of social standing if the signal is not received well. So attraction expresses itself indirectly through the body, through behavioral patterns, through the specific ways a woman's attention and physical presence organize themselves around someone she is drawn to, often without her fully consciously choosing any of it. Many of these signals are not deliberate. They are the automatic, involuntary outputs of a nervous system that is genuinely responding to someone it finds compelling. This means 2 things practically. First, the signals are real. They are not performances or calculations. When a woman shows the 5 things I am about to describe, something genuine is happening. Second, reading them requires actual attention, not paranoid analysis, not constant monitoring, but the specific quality of calm, present observation that notices patterns rather than isolated moments. With that frame in place, here are the 5 signs. Sign number 1. When a woman is genuinely attracted to you, her body orients toward you, and she does not fully choose this. It happens before the conscious mind has made any decision about it. Researchers in the field of proxemics, the study of how humans use physical space in social interaction, have documented this pattern consistently. Physical orientation is one of the most reliable involuntary indicators of genuine interest available. The body turns toward what it is drawn to. Feet point in the direction the mind wants to go. Shoulders angle toward the person the nervous system is engaged with. This happens automatically as a direct output of the attention and arousal systems before any social calculation occurs. Here is what this looks like specifically. In a group setting, even when she is talking to someone else, her body faces you rather than the person she is speaking to. Her feet are pointed in your direction. When she sits near you, she angles toward you rather than maintaining a neutral or outward orientation. When something funny or interesting happens in the room, her first instinct is to look at you, to share the moment, rather than to scan the room generally. That last behavior is particularly significant. The reflexive look, the automatic glance toward a specific person at a moment of emotional response, is one of the clearest indicators of genuine connection available. We look toward the people who matter to us when something happens, not because we decide to, because the nervous system does it before the decision can occur. Pay attention to this in aggregate rather than in isolated moments. One instance of body orientation toward you could be coincidence or spatial logistics. A consistent pattern across multiple interactions in multiple settings over time is not coincidence. It is the body communicating what the words have not yet said. The man who knows to watch for this has access to information that the man who only listens to words never receives. And in the early stages of attraction, when the most important signals are often entirely nonverbal, that access is significant. Sign number 2. A woman who is genuinely attracted to you will find reasons, sometimes completely invented reasons, to close the physical distance between you. This is one of the most consistent behavioral patterns in attraction psychology. When the nervous system is drawn to someone, proximity feels good. Distance feels like something to be reduced, and so the body begins to find ways to be closer. Sitting down next to you when other seats are available, leaning in during conversation, touching your arm to make a point, finding reasons to be in the same physical space as you across different contexts. Albert Mehrabian's research on interpersonal distance and attraction established a direct relationship between how close someone positions themselves to another person and their level of genuine interest. The closer someone chooses to be, when choice is genuinely available, the more they are communicating genuine engagement and attraction. Here is the crucial distinction. Proximity-seeking behavior is most meaningful when alternatives are clearly available. If she sits next to you at a table where you are the only two people, that is not a signal. If she sits next to you at a table where 6 other seats are empty, that is. If she leans in during a conversation in a quiet room where she could easily hear you at a normal distance, that is not neutral. The decision to reduce distance when distance is not required is the signal. Watch also for what researchers call incidental touch, the specific pattern of finding small, contextually justifiable reasons to make physical contact. She touches your arm while making a point. She leans her shoulder against yours while you both look at something. She finds a reason to hand you something directly rather than setting it down. Each of these, in isolation, is ordinary. As a pattern, they reveal something specific, a nervous system that is finding reasons to be physically close to you because closeness feels like what it wants. The inverse is equally informative. A woman who is not attracted maintains comfortable, consistent distance. She does not find reasons to close the gap. The gap stays where it started or increases. Physical distance, in the absence of attraction, is a form of data, and it communicates just as clearly as its opposite. Sign number 3. When a woman is genuinely attracted to you, The quality of her attention changes, not just the quantity, not simply that she spends more time looking at you or talking to you, but the specific texture of how she listens and engages when you are speaking. There is a well-documented difference in human psychology between polite attention and genuine attention. Polite attention is what we give to people we are managing socially. We maintain eye contact at appropriate intervals. We nod. We produce the expected responses. We wait for our turn to speak. It is functional and often kind, but it is not investment. Genuine attention is different. It has a specific quality of absorption, of someone who is actually tracking what you are saying, who is building on it, who is remembering it and returning to it. The behavioral signatures of genuine attention are specific. She remembers details from previous conversations and references them later. Not the broad strokes, but the specific small things that only register if you were genuinely listening. She asks follow-up questions that could only be asked if she had actually processed what you said. She holds eye contact longer than social convention requires, not in a staring way, but in the specific way of someone who does not want to look away. She laughs before the punchline is complete because she is tracking your rhythm closely enough to know where you are going. Research on interpersonal attention and attraction consistently finds that genuine attentiveness is both a signal and a reinforcer of attraction. We pay genuine attention to people we are drawn to, and the experience of being genuinely attended to is itself one of the most powerful drivers of deepening connection. Here is the practical implication. If you are speaking and she is genuinely absorbed, if her phone stays down, if her body is oriented toward you, if she is tracking what you say with specific follow-up questions, that is not social performance. That is genuine investment. And genuine investment does not happen randomly. It happens when someone finds another person compelling. 3 signs down, 2 to go. Sign 4 is the one most men consciously notice but consistently misinterpret, and sign 5 is the subtlest and most reliable signal of all. Subscribe if you haven't, drop a comment on which of the first 3 you recognize, and let's finish. Sign number 4. A woman who is genuinely attracted to you will initiate contact, and when contact is established, she will find reasons to extend it rather than bring it to a natural close. This is the sign most men consciously notice but frequently misread, either by overweighting it when it occurs once or twice, or by underweighting it when it occurs consistently. Let me give you the psychology that makes this readable accurately. Initiation is a high-cost social behavior for women. Unlike men, who are socially expected to initiate in most romantic contexts, women who initiate are taking on the full social exposure of making the first move, with no certainty about how it will be received. This means that when a woman initiates, when she sends the first message, when she is the one who makes the plan, when she finds a reason to come find you in a room, she is taking a genuine social risk to do so, and people do not take genuine social risks without genuine motivation. The pattern to watch for is not a single initiation. One message could be practical, social, or convenient. The meaningful signal is a pattern of initiation, specifically initiation that does not serve an obvious functional purpose. She texts you not because she needs information, but because she thought of something and wanted to share it with you. She finds you at a party not because you were the closest person available, but because you were the person she was looking for. She suggests a second meeting not because the circumstances required it, but because she wanted one. Equally significant is what happens once contact is established. A woman who is not attracted to you will be pleasant, but will allow natural conversation endpoints to close the interaction. A woman who is attracted to you will extend the interaction. We'll find one more thing to say. We'll ask one more question. We'll find a reason to keep the conversation alive a little longer. She is not ready for it to end. That specific quality, the reluctance to close the interaction, is one of the most honest signals available. It is very difficult to perform convincingly and very easy to see when you know what it looks like. Watch for initiation that has no practical necessity. Watch for extensions of contact that serve no purpose other than the contact itself. These are not ambiguous signals. They are specific behavioral evidence of genuine investment. Sign number 5, the final one, the subtlest, and once you understand it, the most reliable sign of genuine attraction available. A woman who is genuinely attracted to you behaves differently with you than she does with everyone else in the room. And this difference is not chosen or performed, it is the automatic, involuntary output of a nervous system that is in a different state around you than it is around other people. Here is the psychology. Every person has a baseline social presentation. The way they are with people they are comfortable with, but not particularly engaged by. The way they move, the volume of their laugh, the level of engagement they bring, the degree to which they allow themselves to be seen. When attraction is present, this baseline shifts, not dramatically, not in a way that announces itself, but specifically and consistently in a direction that is readable once you know what you are looking for. What does this look like in practice? She is funnier around you, not performing humor, but genuinely more playful, more willing to be silly, more comfortable letting her actual sense of humor out. She is more nervous around you than she is with others. Not anxious in a distressed way, but the specific contained nervousness of someone who cares about how they are coming across, who is more aware of themselves in your presence than they are in anyone else's. She grooms small, involuntary self-adjustments of hair, clothing, posture, more frequently in your vicinity than elsewhere. She is both more alive and more self-conscious around you simultaneously. That combination, more alive and more self-conscious, is the specific signature of genuine attraction in female behavior. It is the direct behavioral output of a nervous system that is simultaneously engaged and aware that it is engaged. She cannot fully relax because she is paying attention to herself in a way she is not paying attention to herself around people she is not attracted to. Research by psychologist Timothy Perper on courtship behavior identified this differential engagement pattern as one of the most consistent and reliable indicators of genuine interest available. The key word is differential. You are not looking for specific behaviors in isolation. You are looking for a specific difference in how she is with you versus how she is with others. That difference, when it is consistent, when it appears across multiple interactions, when it cannot be explained by circumstance, is not ambiguous. It is the most honest signal the body produces. This is why sign 5 is the most reliable. Signs 1 through 4 can all, in theory, be circumstantial or coincidental in isolated instances. The differential behavior sign cannot be faked consistently because it is not produced by decision. It is produced by the nervous system's genuine response to someone it finds compelling, and the nervous system does not perform. It simply responds. Let me bring these 5 signs into something directly usable, because recognizing them only matters if you know what to do when you see them. First, do not act on a single sign in isolation. One instance of body orientation, one proximity-seeking behavior, one initiation does not tell you something definitive. What you are looking for is a pattern, multiple signs across multiple interactions, pointing consistently in the same direction. When you have that, when the pattern is clear and consistent, you can respond to it with genuine confidence rather than anxious guesswork. Second, The appropriate response to these signs is not analysis, it is presence. When a woman is showing you genuine attraction through these behavioral signals, she does not need you to decode the signals and then perform a correct response. She needs you to be genuinely present, engaged, warm, interested, and not anxious. The anxiety that comes from over-analyzing signals is itself a signal she will pick up, and it undermines exactly the quality of settled confidence that made the attraction possible in the first place. Third, when the pattern is clear, respond directly and simply. Suggest the thing you want to happen. Make the plan. Create the next opportunity. You do not need certainty. You need enough confidence to act on what you are clearly seeing. The man who can see attraction clearly and respond to it calmly and directly without performing, without over-engineering, without requiring the other person to make it completely obvious before he acts, is the man who consistently creates the outcomes he is looking for. Read the pattern. Stay present. Move simply and directly when the pattern is clear. That is the entire practical framework. Everything else is detail. 5 signs. Her body orients toward you without her choosing it, the involuntary, automatic physical alignment of a nervous system that is genuinely drawn to someone. She finds reasons to close the physical distance, proximity-seeking behavior that is most meaningful when alternatives were clearly available. The quality of her attention changes around you, genuine absorption that remembers specifics, asks real follow-up questions, and does not want to look away. She initiates contact and finds reasons to extend it. High-cost social behavior that only happens when the motivation is genuine. And she behaves differently with you than with everyone else. More alive, more self-conscious, more fully present. The specific involuntary signature of a nervous system that is in a different state around you than it is around anyone else. None of these are performances. They are not calculated signals designed to communicate a message. They are the automatic, honest outputs of a human nervous system that is genuinely responding to someone it finds compelling. They happen before the conscious mind has made any decision. They communicate something real, and they deserve to be read clearly. The man who can read them clearly, stay present, and respond calmly and directly, without over-analyzing, without performing, without waiting for something that is already there to become more obvious, is the man who stops missing what was right in front of him. These 5 signs were always there. Now you know exactly what to look for. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 do you recognize most clearly from your own experience? Which one named something you had seen before but never had the language to describe? And which one are you going to start paying attention to differently from today? Drop it in the comments. Honestly, I read everyone. If this gave you something real today, share it with someone who needs it. Subscribe if you haven't. New content every week. I'll see you in the next one. I'm Liza. This is Secrets Inside the Mind. Take care of yourselves.